We should talk a little bit about this contest, Flipside Tactics and Untethered, as we are getting things ready to go.
I will talk about this contest, because this is going to be an absolutely huge one. Lichinio, Voffel, Pluto, I believe they are the sleeper team here, and knowing the issues that Flipside have had sometimes with those game ones, with those first series of the day, I would be surprised, but I wouldn't keel over if Untethered took the victory here. I mean, we saw in Gfinity, Noble took that 4-0 in the Gfinity Invitational in the very first round. Flipside came back in the losers bracket, but we don't have a losers bracket this time round.
No, this is one and done, basically. And you have to wonder a little bit, and I question this sometimes. I don't know if I could say it definitively, and I'll throw the question to you too.
All right.
Is it a mindset that Flipside has that when they're in a situation where they have to play to win, else they're gone, and it's an essential win? Like for example, in the Pro League, they won enough to be number 2. They won enough to get to the playoffs. Could they have done better? I don't know. That's kind of a hypothetical. In Gfinity, they lost the first round, huge, very surprising, but a big performance by Noble, but then they won thoroughly and consistently and dominantly for most of the rest of those games. So is that like a switch that they just have to hit? So are they going to come into this? I guess my question is, are they going to come into this series in that mindset of win we advance, lose we go home, a lot of money on the line, this is a big deal, this isn't just some small tournament? Do we click like that? That's what I got.
My response to that would be, I invited Marky Dudar to this lobby, and he was already playing Rocket League. He wasn't on the online screen, not playing Rocket League. That never happens. Every time I invite Marky to these things, he goes, "Oh yeah, I got to turn on Rocket League." So I feel like that switch has already been flicked. And if these guys have been warming up together, it's going to be scary for whatever team comes forward in this. And Untethered, you're first, and you're going to have to bring out something good here, because we see from, and I did have a source from this, I will not name him unless he goes into the chat and names himself, the main strategy that teams have been putting forward to try and beat Flipside is just to constantly aggress on everything they do. Don't give them space for dribbles, don't give them space for clearances, just keep taking shots and wait until they fall down.
It's a valid strategy, because that's an approach that Flipside has taken. They are a relentless pressuring force when they want to be. When they just want to start applying pressure, they turn it on, and they will just pound the net with shots. So, I think we saw a lot of this during the regular season of the Pro League. If we look back on the stats, that we've got teams who, like Flipside, ton of shots and a ton of goals, but a ton of shots, like ridiculous amount of shots. So the overall shot percentage was pretty good, but it was just that constant hammering away on the net. And that doesn't even count the attacks that don't technically count as shots.
Yeah, we see... I mean, the best way, and you're going to see, I'm going to bring this one out before the game even starts, because you're going to need to be looking out for this almost immediately. Flipside, when they hit the ball, they commit all 3 to the offense. And for so long, I was wondering why they do that. But now when you see it, they are covering every single clearance lane, so that way they can take another shot immediately afterwards. They don't want to let the pressure go.
No, and they, that's what they do so well. They'll commit 3 forward and just shut down that side of the field.
Yeah, I'm going to sound really British here. It's like a bunch of cricket fielders.
It is. I mean, it's a good approach, if you can deny all those lanes and there's a little trickling.
God,
shut up, Turbo!
Incredible way to start this!
What happened with Pluto? He didn't get to it. He was just flipping like crazy, but this shot goes bouncing by Cooks here. And Pluto was... I don't know if he was just stuck mid-flip and couldn't really react to it, or what, but if he was on the ground, I expected he would have been able to stop that one.
Yeah, as incredible as that shot was from Cooks, I mean, I'd have to be able to see the amount of boost that Pluto had if he was, waiting for some, or what? There's no real excuse to be sitting over there doing nothing.
Yeah, that's, I don't know. I don't know what was going on there. But, you know, in any event, I've corrected our overlay, by the way, since, you know... Oh! Waffle!
Waffle's
Immediately!
score.
A huge goal here. Set up by Lichinio is going to play this shot up high. He just gets that little touch off the corner, and then Waffle drills it into the net. So big goal there.
Pluto realized that he almost completely ruined that play by coming in. But yeah, that setup was absolutely incredible. To get that light of a touch can only be done if you hit it with the wheel of your car. Hits it anywhere else with that, and that play is going to be much more difficult.
Yeah. You know, I will give credit. Team Rocket did a great video on striking that talks a lot about how the ball reacts when you approach the ball in certain ways. So it's great for players who are new to the game. Marky Duda, not new to the game, immediately coming in, showing why he is regarded as one of, if not the premier player in the world. Big touch to set that up and just tracks it all the way down. Waffle can't quite get to it. And a 2-1 setup for Flipside.
Going back to what we said just a moment ago, we need Untethered to be a lot quicker here. They just seem to be second best everything. Yeah,
and I mean, you know, this is something that Untethered is going to have to work on during this first game.
He's going to take that past all three. No, he's not.
Almost.
Chinio's got his eye on that and has just been the safety net for Untethered.
Yeah, that is critical stuff. Oh,
here.
What happened
Pluto
there?
Just keeps getting caught out of position. This has been a... I don't want to call him out on this, but I'm going to. So... yeah, I do kind of want to call him out on this, but Pluto just keeps getting caught out by these touches.
Yeah, that one just breaks a weird bounce off the wall, and Pluto has to flip himself completely around just to try to respond to it, and he can't get to it at all. Like, there's no chance. So, yeah, unfortunately, he's let in, you know, 2 of those goals can kind of be attributed to just some mispositioning on his part, or at least, you know, he could have contested them a little bit better. But as it stands right now, we're going to see Mike Rules tries to play this shot up high, sets it up to Cooksier. Cooksier just floats it in, and Flipside starting things off really strong, and they even do a demolition in the goal, which we might catch during the end of this replay because, you know, why not, right?
Why not, indeed. I mean, there we go.
Yeah, Lichinio comes floating in and then gets surface-to-air missiled out of play. But in any event, I mean, this is not the kind of start Untethered needed. You know, they needed a much more competitive start, even if they lost. You know, I'm not even saying they needed to win this first game necessarily, but they needed to come in.
5. We're not even 2 minutes into this, and there's a 4-goal lead right now for Flipside.
This is why it's so hard to This is why it's so hard to figure out Flipside sometimes. You know, I'll be honest. Some people give me crap for talking highly about Flipside, and then I have to ask them, like, what else do you do? When you get games like this and when you get performances like this, what do? Do you ignore it? Like, how do you ignore that? But, I mean, in any event, yeah, like I was saying, this first game, not the kind of performance Untethered needed. They had to come in a little more competitive, look a little stronger, and not just get played, completely outplayed. I mean, that's what we're seeing so far, at least in this first game.
Oh, nice demolish. There we go.
Nice play forward, and Waffle will get his goal there. So good response. Maybe they're starting to figure things out. Big Tamo, yeah, on his part. And then just a nice little header on a wide open net.
Yeah, nice demolish there from Waffle. Pluto did very well to just sneak that ball past both of the Flipside players that were remaining. So, I mean, there's only 3 goals behind, 2 minutes and 40 seconds left. That is not insurmountable, but we have not seen many 3-goal comebacks, let alone a 4-goal comeback.
Yeah, it's by no means impossible. Absolutely. With saves like that from Lichinio, I mean, that's a great way to start turning things around. But, again, the pressure, and they... Oh,
1, 2, 3. It's
the feels
backflip,
man. Oh, Marky... That one was just... I don't even know what to say about this play. Marky gets the contact here. Lichinio, I guess he just tried to stop himself with that backflip now that we're seeing it back on, but not enough to really do it.
That was to flail at it and hope that the ball hit him.
Yeah.
That is, I mean, when you get to that sort of defense where you know someone's about to take a shot and you can't block it, that is the only defensive option available. Take a calculated guess and Magikarp flail at it.
Yeah, the old Magikarp defense sometimes has to come into play when you just have nothing better to do. But I think it's going to be a big deal now for Untethered to try to come back in these next few games and at least reestablish some confidence. But good play in by Lichinio, doesn't quite result. Waffle stops that on the wall, but Marky Duda's going to flip that around. Mike Rules tries to get underneath it. Actually, it looks like he was actually just going to try to take the defender out. Not a bad strategy. Lachinio with an aerial tries to set that in on net, but it is going to get cleared back out. Chance now for Markey, who plays that in. Pluto off the wall, good clear on his part. And we'll follow him through. We'll see what happens here. Mike rules now. A little bit of that 1v1, but it gets denied in the net by Lachinio and Markey. A brutal response to put away the 7th goal of this game for Flipside.
Yeah. I said earlier, this is a bit like cricket players just crowding around, waiting to see if they can get it. And then, once that cricket player has managed to field the ball, catch the ball into his hand, he's throwing it back into your face as hard as possible. That is what Flipside are all about.
Yeah, and that is what we are getting quite a bit of here in this first game.
That was one of the more brutal analogies I've come up with.
Appropriate, though, all things considered. Play in by Pluto. Tries to set up to Waffle, but he can't quite do it. Markey's going to have a bit of an opening here, trying to get that 1v1, but he gets demolished, so a smart demo on the part of Pluto. Let's see if Untethered can turn this around. Play up high. Into the corner. Lachinio going to try and set it up off the wall, but no. Mike will help clear that down. At least right now, Untethered doing a good job of keeping the ball in on the orange side of the field. This one's going to be almost taken out. What are we doing? There we go. Okay.
I think because Waffle's on the West Coast, I think he's actually struggling a lot more with this lag than everyone else is, because he has not looked too great this game.
Yeah, he might be. It's a difficult place to try to play from, but that is the nature of the beast, so to say.
It's the cards you've been dealt, boys.
Yeah, that's how this tournament's going to go, unfortunately, for these guys. But all right, ball's going to get cleared down, and this game is going to tick away here, well in favor of Flipside.
Yeah, that was just an absolutely phenomenal start from Flipside, especially during those opening minutes. Just constant shots coming in. I mean, that opening goal from Cookser really just set the pace. It was just nice little plays coming in from Flipside and some missteps.
I hear nothing now.
You hear nothing?
I can speak, I think, but I cannot hear.
Oh, that's not good.
Let's fix this. Or at least I'm going to try. But it looks like we are going for a server reset in any event. So, I'm going to turn my speakers on for a second.
You need to be able to hear me, Shellfish.
I know. I don't know what... Seems like it's just one of those days, you know? When anything can go wrong, it will.
I mean, this isn't last week.
Well...
Let's not go that far.
Last week was its own special event, for sure. Well, in any event, I can at least hear you now. And
hey.
I'll figure it out.
You have dramatically decreased your viewing level and appreciation.
Well. Alright. Anyway. So I guess we're resetting to a new server here. Bit of issues on the first EU server, but that's okay. We will get back into the game in just a few moments. To start with Game 2 here, which needs to be a big turnaround for Untethered, plain and simple.
Yeah.
They have got to refocus here in a big way.
Certainly doing. Oh, look at that big sign out there. Open sign-ups March 25th. Get onto that, boys. But watch this first, because this is still going to be a big series, and we've got a huge tournament still to come throughout the rest of this.
We do. Alright, kickoff has happened. Game is down. We are going. Don't know why everything decided to fall apart, and Markey immediately. Very quick early goal here.
Yeah, we just... Okay, I'm not too sure what's happening there. I'm going to put that down to lag, possibly because all of them just seem to drive forward for a moment or so. I'm not entirely sure what just happened there, because no one from Untethered seemed to have any sort of control over themselves.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's a interesting situation. Hopefully they're not dealing with any kind of technical problems. But,
okay, that one's just going to sneak in.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there. Yeah, this is a... I mean, it's been a bit of a weird start to this, coming in. But nice little move there by Mike.
Yeah, he just shuts down that clear attempt. So, sometimes that's all it takes. Just a little bit of pressure, just keeping yourself in front of things, and worked out. Now Pluto clearing this ball down. Set up as Lachinio. Going to try to play this high. Chance for Untethered, but it gets turned aside. Now, Flipside will try to flip this back around. Mike Rules plays it into the corner, but Pluto denies that. Marky can't quite stop the momentum. Slows it down quite a bit, though. And that might be enough to throw Pluto off. Oh, there's a big follow-through, and Waffle with a huge stop there, but the big follow-up by Cooksier. And they just could not slow that down. This initial play, Cooksier to Marky, was great. A big stop by Waffle, but Cooksier was there just to respond to it. Nearly stopped that, but it just wasn't enough.
Yeah, it seems like the ping for Waffle has gone down very slightly. Oh, it's back to where it was beforehand, but yeah, I'm not too sure if this is down to servers, but we are not seeing any sort of closing down coming in here from Untethered. It just seems like Flipside have got the rule of the roost going forwards.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how things turn around when we go back to the NA side. So that'll give Untethered a chance to at least get back into the series, assuming how the rest of this game goes, and possibly recover a little bit, and maybe even... I
mean, look at that. There's no one going towards that for a very long time.
Chance now carried in. Ball's going to get cleared downfield here. Set out by Mike. Waffle's going to set up that shot, but the ball's going to be cleared back down. Lachinio, though, gets a chance. He's going to get past the defenders. Now an opportunity for Untethered as the ball is floated up, but Cooksier immediately cuts that off. And a big clear on his part. That was just a little bit ridiculous, and he almost
nice save.
Finishes that off. Huge save by Lachinio. Ball still in a dangerous position. Lachinio clears that one out, turned around by Marky. Back up into a dangerous spot, and everybody from Flipside almost having a chance there. A little bit of a cross-check on Cooksier, tries to clear that one away. Pluto now floating this one in, but Marky will send it back downfield here on DFH Snowy. Ball cleared down. Lachinio going to try to carry this up. Marky interrupts. Pluto into the corner, and now Untethered needs to gather up and try to put some pressure on the net because time is running very low, and a 3-0 deficit may end up becoming insurmountable very quickly. Nice touch there by Pluto, but Mike Rules denies it. Now Marky going to try to carry this up to the corner. Pluto, just gets a good touch on the wall to prevent that cross. But going to have to flip it around again. Now turn around, header, drives it into the corner. Chance for Flipside, but no. Marky can't quite do anything there. Now Untethered needs to flip this around.
Oh, what a save!
Big goal attempt here.
And the crossbar. That's a little bit different.
They are playing tight to the wall here. Opening for Marky. Nobody back there for Untethered, and a 4-0 scoreline is what we are staring at right now.
Yeah, it just seems like every time Flipside go forward, they're taking it nice and slowly, picking their shots where they need to, taking the shot, and then crowding around, taking more shots after that. And eventually, when you do take enough shots, things crumble down to the ground, but they have scored 50% of all of their potential shots on goal.
Oh, what a huge save.
Percentage ruined.
A really nice play there by Flipside, but well denied by Lachinio. We'll try to play this one in. Now Mike Rules coming in forward. Lachinio, though, he's going to turn this one around. At least for now, has to play it high off the wall. Doesn't make... Makes a little bit of contact there. Oh, and the nice little follow-up save by Marky. Final minute. We're back in that insurmountable position here for Untethered.
I've liked this last half of this game, though, a lot more from Untethered. They seem to be pressuring even more. Just making sure that Flipside don't have all of the space in the world to do whatever they want in.
Yeah, right now they are not... I don't know, they're shutting down a few things, looking a little bit better, but the fact that the scoreline is still 7-0, or sorry, still 4-0, says quite a bit.
That was a bit of a demolition.
Charge in. Cooksier, who, as you can see, is now rocking the Octane. Plays this in by Marky. Marky's going to try to set this up across the net. Doesn't happen. Mike Rules, though, keeps it in. Cooksier coming in from behind. Final few seconds to play. Game is definitely going to be owned by Flipside Tactics.
Chinio's got his own back on that demolish from the last game.
A little bit. Looks like things will wind down here in just a few moments.
Oh, the
And that will do it.
That will do it indeed. I'm curious going into this next one because these last two games on the EU servers have not looked all that competitive. But I want to see what type of team Untethered come out with once we've got it onto their home servers.
Yeah, and that's, you know, I agree with you completely. That's going to be a big factor going into the rest of this series. They obviously had a rough couple of games on EU, which could ultimately mean that regardless of how these NA games go, if it does tilt back to EU, it could just fall right back into the hands of Flipside and series done. But, you know, I think that's what we're stuck with right now, is just seeing how these teams are going to fare.
Well, with the games being that lopsided in the hands of Flipside on the EU servers, it's absolutely key now that Untethered do not drop either of these two games coming up. And this right here might be a good way of starting, because Flipside did not have a good win percentage on Wasteland.
No, well, their chance has come to try to get things back into this. And here we go. On Wasteland, Game 3 of this series. There we go.
And just to clarify moving forward, it does seem like Flipside's ping is roughly the same as what we had from Untethered, so we're going to see the differences now.
Yep, will that ping be a big enough difference, or will the usual momentum of Flipside just be too much to handle? Good ball control there by Mike Rule. Sets it up high for Marky, but nicely stopped by Pluto, who cuts that shot off. Now Cook's here sending that shot around. We'll hop on board with Waffle as this play develops. Let's see what happens here. Pluto puts this shot. Let's see, Pluto. Anyway, ball gets sent up, deflected out. Waffle's going to get credit for that stop. Now a chance here for Untethered. Oh, and not a big stop there. Lachinio is going to get credit for that goal, and no chance of stopping that one. A little bit of a misplay here, maybe by Cooks here. Just couldn't quite get to it. I think he committed too far forward.
Yeah, you committed too far forward, and as we said earlier, if you hit the ball behind someone, they are not going to be able to respond to it. But I do believe that the ping is taking a little bit of a toll here, because Flipside are not being anywhere near as aggressive as they usually are.
Yeah, it might be a little bit of them just kind of being a little cautious in the first game here on the NA server, trying to get a gauge for what sort of lag or latency they're going to have to contest with, or just very well could be that server advantage paying off. We'll have to see.
Oh, Micro's got the Chinio, huge save there.
Yeah, this is going well for Untethered, getting a little more better reaction time in a lot of ways. Mike Rule's going to stop that one. We'll take back to the sky here. Shot played in off the sidewall there. Another chance for Untethered, but Marky will send that into the corner. Chinio up high, cross there for Pluto, wide open net, and Waffle he gets a big goal.
Yep, that's the lead starting to open up here. Untethered, we said they needed to take these games. It looks like they are going to if this keeps up. Waffle, he had pretty much a whole half of the goal to aim at. Decided I'm going to bury that into the very bottom corner anyway.
Yeah, big result.
Well played by Lachinio. I think that he was originally going for a shot, but to block the clearance is just as good.
It could be very good here. Sorry for the little stream hiccup there. Apparently I'm getting all of my technical issues now. That's exactly what I want.
Let's get them out of the way.
Yeah, get them out of the way now, sure. That's exactly what I want to have happen. In any event, get back to business. Shot being put in. Waffle can't quite get the finish on that one. But Flipside still being kept to a clean sheet thanks to the defense of Untethered. Shot coming in there.
Nice
well, that
shot.
ended. Marky Duda gets this setup shot, puts it away.
Yeah, ball came up. Cooks it nice and high with that setup, and Marky Duda flipped it over so he could hit it with the front hood of his car, get some power onto the shot rather than just dinking it downwards, and that is going to make it almost impossible to save, and ends up being unsaved by the Untethered defense.
Chance coming in now as Flipside's trying to get a little bit back into this game. Still plenty of time to go, and there's a big distance shot by Mike Rules.
Like I said earlier, we haven't seen many free goal comebacks, but this could very well be one. Waffle tried to clear it, but no one there to pressure the ball afterwards, and that meant Mike Rules gets to take a nice power shot, aiming directly towards the middle of the goal. And Flipside are back into this match.
Yeah, they've just closed this gap significantly. And we'll see if they can actually get the finish, or if Untethered's going to get back into business.
Oh, that might have gone in anyway. I don't know if Marky was going to get to that. I'm not seeing anything in chat, no sorries or anything, which tend to come out from Untethered, so I'm going to assume I am wrong on that one.
Waffle sets this one up. Follow through gets redirected down. Chance for Pluto, who's going to put it to the corner. There's a cross. Let's see if he can get the finish. Oh, can't quite make contact. It's going to allow Mike Rules to clear this one out. But the pressure is still coming for Untethered. They do not want to drop this game. This is their chance to build that momentum.
Lose this game. This would more or less spell the end of their series straight away.
Yeah, almost for certain.
Oh, that Wasteland bounce, that almost spent the end for Flipside there. Came out a little bit of a different angle than you would on any other map. And just sort of grazed and kissed its way across the center of the goal, but no one able to turn that in for Untethered, and that means the pressure is going to stay on them for another minute. And there... Oh, what a save! Pluto! Okay, that just made up for every single positional mistake in the last game. For that first game.
Critical stop there by Pluto. But the pressure's going to be on. This is usually when Flipside starts to turn up the juice. If they're behind with about a minute to 30 seconds left to play, that's typically when we start to see them really start to apply a lot of pressure and try to close this gap up. And as I say that, and that save doesn't quite happen, as Cooksey is going to get credit for this goal.
This is going to be absolutely huge here. This goal might be the turning point of this entire series, where we could be saying goodbye to Untethered. They need I mean, I can't understate this. Untethered have to win this match. It is on their server and on a map that Flipside do not have a good winning percentage on.
Yeah, it is critical, but there, Waffle, an absolutely necessary go-ahead goal played off the kickoff from Lachinio. He floats it up into the air and then just taps this forward, breaks all the defenders, and gets a necessary go-ahead goal.
Yep, and those sort of shots are so much more effective on Wasteland because it curves up a little bit. That first flick on gets even more height onto the ball than usual. That makes it so much harder for the defender to get up to.
Yeah, but it paid off for them. Now as time is ticking off the clock, it's again the pressure on for Flipside, and here comes the chance. Mike Rules can't do it. Pluto stops him. Set up by Cooks here, and they can't put the pressure back on. Final few seconds. We're hitting the final 10 seconds now. Markey tries to get the cross. Lachinio disrupts it. Ball's going to be set up high, but the pressure is still on. They are on the same zone. Set up by Markey. Here comes Cooks here. Can't do it, and the ball hits the ground. And Untethered will take their first game of this set.
They will narrowly scrape away with this win. Oh my god, that finish. Pluto made a huge defensive mistake, and we thought all it would take was one more Flipside hit to finish it off. Pluto managed to recover and just flip his way in, just flipped his car backwards, hoping he could get anything onto it. He got more than enough.
Oh, absolutely. That was a huge showing there. But, all right, well, So I guess there might be some weird Twitch issues going on, which could be the reason that we have had the stream kind of act funny on us a little bit here. But it's going to be alright. You know why it's going to be alright? Because you haven't missed a thing. You've gotten the same awesome action. We're getting ready for the next little server swap that's going to happen here, of course.
It's going to be staying on US. It was just that Flipside wanted to change of server, and Untethered have said yes to it.
Oh, good. That's friendly. Always friendly when everybody can agree to do things.
Yeah. Get the best tournament possible. These guys have known each other for years at this point. Pluto, formerly known as Plutonium Falcon, also known as Jadusky. You know, he has gone through multiple forms, and we get to see him now performing in front of so many people. You know, these are players that we could have possibly got a YouTube replay of at the end of a tournament. Now we get to stream it in front of thousands of people on Twitch. Just the coolest thing possible.
It is a big deal. Big tournament, big money, big everything. As I think things are finally settling down just a little bit. But anyway, let's get down to business. Game 4 of this series. A desperate attempt for Untethered to try and tie the series up, get back into it before we head back to EU.
I mean, that had no offensive worth at all, but that looked pretty cool, Cooks.
You know, that sometimes can sum up Cooks here in a nutshell. Just, you know, doesn't need to have any effectiveness as long as it looks good.
Okay, this might be effective, though.
Yeah, big setup there, almost redirected, but no, Pluto's going to save it. Big demolition here could be a chance for Flipside to turn this around if they can respond quickly enough. Tap up by Mike Rules. They're not on the opposite side, so that gets sent around. Marky with the cross. Chance Cooks here doesn't quite get it. He's going to bring it to the corner. Now Lichinio clears it out. Mike Rules stops it at halfway. A little bit of an exchange back and forth. Mike Rules now gets an extra bit of contact on. Here comes Marky from above. But doesn't quite get the angle he needs. Cooks here coming in from the side as well. Let's watch this Flipside approach from Marky Duda's perspective as Mike Rules sets it forward up high. Chance for Marky. He's going to come in, gets the contact, but Lichinio denies that one.
Yeah, Lichinio was smart there. He could have very easily got caught into what Pluto and Waffle both did by going forward and trying to save the original shot. That's the same thing, but they've got away with it because the crossbar, I mean, the post is OP. It's not going to be there to save them from that one, though.
You know, we talked about this previously. You keep allowing the pressure to happen, and something's going to give. And it has finally given.
That was a poor clear from Pluto. If he's going to do something like that, he needs to get it next to a wall and follow it up with a wall shot or wall aerial, or he needs to go for a long clearance. Rolling across the floor straight into Mike Rules is the last thing you want to be doing.
Yeah, that was a perfect setup. Oh, but a distance shot by Pluto. That distance shot gets denied by Mike Rules. Chance to turn it around. Marky off the wall. Sent down to the corner. Lichinio's going to slow it down there. This will be a chance for Untethered to clear this out. Gets past Mike. Now Pluto carrying this forward. Gets a good cross. Wide open net, and Lichinio puts it away.
Lichinio owes Pluto at least a high five for this, taking it past one player. I believe that was Mike Rose. Then lovely little pinch pass there to Lichinio. And he's even going to drive away with Marky Dudar on his hood as a trophy.
Yeah, that was a big pass play to allow that cross to happen to Lichinio. Flipside doesn't go in on the kickoff, but that's going to be okay because they will still have the advantage here. Now playing this forward, Lichinio, bit of a aerial contact, but Mike Rules quickly flips out aside, gets past Waffle. Chance now for Flipside. Mike Rules in the corner. But they are going to fight over it a little bit. Lichinio just hanging out on the wall, not quite doing anything effective on that one. And that floating shot just gets denied by Pluto. He manages to keep track on that. There's another shot that's going to float in, but Waffle gets to it. Marky's going to come up to try to dunk it in. Doesn't make the contact, allows for Kooksy to come in. What quite happened there? I don't know.
Pluto got the save, an incredible one at that. It was a little bit laggy coming in from at least my perspective, but the shot came in and Pluto just flung himself, hoping that you'd at least make contact, and he did.
Very fortunate save on his part to deny that. And they do turn it around for a bit of an offensive pressure, and that now they're regrouping, doing it again. Cleared to the corner by Mike. Waffle's going to set it up down there. Marky Duda, though, gets a good clear, sets it up for Mike, who's going to get a bit of contact. But Lichinio stops it. It's still in a dangerous place, though. Well played by Waffle to clear it off to the side. Saw that Marky was right there and waiting.
Yeah, whenever you play Flipside, it's not only one thing to get the save against the shot, but you've got to clear it immediately. And that's what they did. Waffle has just managed to completely decimate the Flipside defense with that.
Outstanding play. Carries this in, plays it off the backboard, and gets that final touch to beat Marky Duda. And just breaks past all the defenders on that one for a huge go-ahead goal.
Yeah, lovely little flick onto the wall. The fact that he didn't even catch it onto the ramp made it all much better. Because doing that took it past the defender and immediately gave him a little gap there in the final goalkeeper. And another shot coming in.
And Cooks here with a huge in-goal save to prevent that one. Now a distance shot just can't get past Lichinio, who makes a big stop. And the pressure's back on. Cooks here pinches it down. Pluto slows it down. Good chance for Marky. He's going to try to flick it in, but Lichinio keeps track of it that whole time. No chance for Flipside to do much with it. Ball still in a dangerous place, but they're going to get past Cooks here, though. turns that back around. Marky Duda holds down the fort. Pluto tries to clear this out. Lichinio flicks it above the defender. He comes charging in, but Cooksier sends it off to the side.
Lichinio read exactly what was going to happen there, and that's so impressive from that close of a distance. He is going to be key throughout these matches coming up because, well, Untethered, even if they do win this, they still need another 2.
They do, and it's going to be very hard to get 2 more wins if you're having difficult time on the EU server.
They gotta win this one first.
Yeah, they do, and they're so far so good, but if Flipside can come back and tie this thing up, it'll be much more interesting. Play's going to allow it to be centered. Cooksier gets taken out of the play for now, but Marky Duda, centered shot. He's going to try to carry this in, flips it in.
Oh, he didn't have any boost.
Turned aside by Waffle, yeah.
I believe he was going for the special.
He was trying for it. Ball set up high off the wall. Played in. Another shot just hits the bar, but there's a follow-up in Marky.
Untethered are back into the situation they were in on Wasteland, but this time we're more than likely to see some overtime. Just constantly taking these shots that were hitting against that backboard, and Untethered kept reacting to it, eventually leaving an open goal that Marky Duda says thank you very much to, and ends up putting it in. That's not going to go in. Pluto's going to look to kill that. No, they're not. They might going to keep playing this.
Oh, we're going to see what happens. No.
Okay,
never mind.
Just make me say it then, boys, and then ruin it.
Yeah. Prove you wrong. That's all they need to do. All right. Overtime here in game number 4. Chance for Untethered to tie this series up. Chance for Flipside to come within 1 game of winning the series. And they'll be going back to EU, so that's the last thing Untethered wants. Big setup here. But it goes a little too far, so nobody from Flipside can react to it. Long distance shot from Pluto will get turned aside by Cooksier.
Yeah, smart from Cooks there, because he could have reacted to the potential shot coming in towards him. Instead, saw through it and decided to stay still and save the original shot.
Interesting little setup there. They couldn't quite get it. Timing was off. Cooksier coming in from above, but Lichinio has no trouble stopping that one. We'll send it down. Big shot by Waffle, and it's going to squeeze in there. Huge goal by Waffle.
Waffle is just absolutely superb in this situation. Comes in, negative angle with that touch. Couldn't play that any better. Nice delivery as well from Lichinio.
Really outstanding redirect on the part of Waffle off of an excellent setup. But it is just not enough, and I mean that was Waffle just coming in there with that light touch. All it took to put it away just inside the post. But an amazing setup there, so that is going to give Untethered the series tying victory. But
yeah, I mean
we're going to EU now.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's pretty likely that Flipside... I mean, the last couple of games we saw on EU maps were just complete dominations. But there's a little bit of momentum now coming in for Untethered, so I wouldn't be surprised if they looked a lot more competitive this time round.
You know, I hope so. I hope that not only that momentum, but just having found their rhythm now against Flipside is going to do them a lot of favors on the EU servers. You know, obviously they're going to have a hard time because Waffle's on the West Coast, so that's going to add a little bit more of an interesting dynamic to that. But it might not be a big deal. You know, maybe they can still carry forward here.
We will find out.
Oh, yes.
Everyone wants straight into this. I'm liking this. These boys are not going to muck around. No mind games. No, we need to go out for some water.
No, this is game time. They don't want to let any time interfere with their ability to play. Now Cooksier carrying this in as the game kicks off. Back on the EU servers. Big opportunity, or big benefit to Flipside, as we saw in the first 2 games. Oh, not much of a shot there, but Pluto gets demolished. Lichinio playing to the corner. It's going to come out. Could be a chance for Waffle, but he's not quite in position for it. So he's going to have to send it to the wall. Now Cooksier playing it up high. Sends it down. Lichinio has no trouble flipping this ball back around. Up high to Marky. And a distant shot, and nobody back there, but it's going to hit the crossbar. Very fortunate for Untethered that ball was moving at the pace it was. Ball's going to come in down low. Flipside on the attack, but Pluto will direct that one out. Marky going to carry this one in. Takes the round, set up back from Mike. Nope, that's going to fall a little bit here. Sorry, that was from Cooksier.
Speaking of Cooks.
Yep. Keeping this one in, back for it to Marky. Oh, and it just gets past.
Unbelievable team play coming in from Flipside. Cooks it, passing it down. Mike Rules choosing against going for any redirect or anything greedy. Passes it over to Marky. And even though Waffles was coming over trying to close down the gap, Marky Dudar just buries that goal deep into a decent shot.
Very, very good shot there. Just put on point and just gets past the defense. So that is going to give Flipside the opening goal here. Both teams are 2 games away from taking the series, so they're both in the same spot right now. Cooks here is going to play this one up. Pluto shuts it down, at least for the moment, but Mike Rules with a distant shot. Tries to get that tight angle, but it is saved by Lachinio, who was proven to be a very effective defender here.
Say goodbye, Waffles.
A little surface-to-air missile takes out Waffle, but he's going to come back here. Try to regroup, but Flipside back on the attack.
Oh,
and Cooks
how
here.
do you get that much power from barely moving around? Look at Cooks do this, and try and do this next time you play. He barely has any time to get that speed up. Catches it with the little, well, I'm going to call them just dirt tires or whatever it is, just at the front of the car. Catching it right on that right angle. Puts it in.
Yep, and just enough, so that is going to give Flipside the 2-goal lead here. And okay, apparently nobody wants to hit that ball. There's something
No, don't hit the ball.
something bad with that ball right now. Well, Waffle does hit it, but it is flicked up and above the net by Cooks here. Now a chance for Flipside to try and move this out, but no, Untethered's going to keep the pressure on. Can't quite get past Marky there.
Oh, Lachinio and Pluto, just miscommunication. That should have been a decent shot from Pluto, but he got shut down by his own teammate.
Yep, another chance there. Here comes Waffle, tries to turn this around, but a little too far off to the right. So that ball's going to break too far, but Untethered applying a lot more pressure now. Looking very good here. Just in terms of keeping the offense going. Floating shot!
Oh,
no! Waffle brute forces that goal in there.
Yeah, this time the communication was on point. Cooks went for the pinch, didn't come out the way you wanted it. Lachinio went up for it, but you must have heard the call from Waffle, who just manages to squeeze that one in.
Yeah, that was a big benefit on his part. He just managed to get that one in there. So now, that'll get them back into this game at least. Still lots of time left to play. But we're going to see if Untethered can continue that momentum, or if Flipside will be able to respond. I will say these games certainly looking a lot better than the first couple did.
Yeah, this is certainly a lot more I mean, it was impossible not to be more close. Because that first one was a little bit ugly to watch. This has been much better from Untethered. They look a lot more confident in themselves.
Yeah, they do. You know, a little bit more games under their belt. They've got a better read on Flipside now. But we're going to see if they can at least turn it into a victory, because that's what they need to do here on the EU servers. Good setup here to Mike, but he's going to play it off the backboard. It hits that crossbar. Unfortunately, nobody able to respond to it.
Lachinio's just bumped away Waffle.
Well, chance there, but Mike's going to clear this back into the zone and get his own rebound. And a big goal for Mike Rules.
Yep, this is just a couple of misplays here from Untethered. That ball comes right the way back in. Pluto tries to get up to it, overestimates it, and goes too far to the left. That means the rebound comes in off the wall, which is basically a self-set for Mike Rules.
Yeah, really, really well done. All in all, between these players. So no surprises here. Mike Rules now carrying that ball, quite literally. Oh, but then he's left in dust by Pluto. That ball's going to be cleared out. Marky prevents that from going any further, so now Mike's going to try again. Good distance shot. Let's see if they can turn this around. Marky keeps the ball in on the blue zone. Chance here. Pluto's going to fight him for it, but oh, Cooks here right there. Distance and just the angle. The tight angle shot. And Cooks here gets the 4th goal for Flipside.
Yeah, if Waffle was facing towards, then he probably would have got to that, because his back was turned, unable to get there, especially with the ball put behind him. Nice shot coming in, but he had time to turn, just didn't think he did at the time.
Yeah, it's you know, sometimes those shots can be a little hard to read, but you kind of have to, like, I don't know, in my opinion, wherever they are on the Flipside side of things, just expect the shot to possibly be on target. Set up by Marky to Cooks here. Shot not quite on target, but it's going to stay in the zone. Good clear by Waffle, at least for now. Ball tight in the corner. Here comes Lachinio. He's going to help clear this out, but Marky centers the ball again, but there's Waffle with a good play to clear this out. Lucinio doesn't quite make any contact there, so this ball is going to go off to the wall. Down goes Pluto. Lots of demolitions happening here.
Pluto's been really quiet this game. I mean, I don't remember seeing or hearing you say his name that often. Just he needs to get himself into this game a little bit more because he just seems to be sitting around that back area, and every time a shot comes in, he's reacting, but not making anything of it. Oh, okay.
Oh, Mike
no charity
Rules.
goal for you.
Big save there. And that will wrap things up just about. We're going to wait for the 0-second time to expire, and there it goes. So Flipside Tactics will take that game in a relatively convincing fashion, I must say. All things considered, it looked a lot closer. I will give it credit for that. From a play standpoint, the scoreline's a little deceptive because from a play standpoint, it looked certainly better in that regard. From
it did. They were definitely a lot closer towards the beginning of the game there, but towards the end, it just looked like Flipside came into their own. We're seeing a lot of mechanical mistakes coming out from Untethered so far, which they really need to shut down quite quickly because, correct me if I'm wrong, but they are a single game away from being eliminated here.
Oh, you are right. No, you are correct.
Right.
You are very correct. Good. They are one game away from elimination here. But yeah, they have to. Maybe the server swap will be beneficial to them and give them that opportunity. They did well on it last time. They did. They absolutely did. So that's could be enough, but you know it will go back to EU at the end, assuming that Untethered manages to win. So you know it always comes back to having to be able to win on your opponent's server, plain and simple. Like you have to be able to do that.
Well,
and if
we're
you
definitely
don't,
going to see that here.
It's going to get tough. Well, let's see how things proceed here. Flipside needs to know they are playing to win and to move on to the semifinals.
Oh, they know. Trust me, they know. I'm pretty sure Mike will be barking that at all of them.
Both of these teams have a very eager Kings of Urban squad who just managed to get past Supersonic Avengers to deal with. So this will move on, continuing with the NA and EU exchange. Oh, but that Pluto. Big touch there. Critical touch.
I was about to criticize him for not getting a very good and strong touch against that backboard, but he just followed it up and incredible mechanical play.
Yeah, he earned that very well to respond to that clear, but now let's see what will happen at this point. Ball's in a dangerous position midfield. Pluto's going to send it off to the wall. Chance for Untethered. Quickly denied by Markey, who sets it up to Mike. Good cross play here. Let's see if Markey can get the finish, and he does. Just forces that one away.
Yeah, as I said earlier, during the Cosmic game, if you see something like this coming, you need to snuff it out during the pass, not when the shot comes in. As we see both of the Untethered members still in goal, just don't even try and block that, just flailing and hoping to try and make themselves as big as possible to shut down the angles, but Marky Dudar doesn't struggle with that at all.
Not at all. Ball played off the wall. Cookster's going to carry this one in. And this is the time where certainly, you know, Untethered needs to get back into this. Apply a lot of pressure. Hopefully get a very strong win. Oh, and that's a nice way to do it. Waffle trying to force that one down, but Cookster turns it aside. Pluto makes a little bit of a whiff. That's a chance for Markey to flip this one around. Not a good play there. Lucinio fortunately denies that one in the air. At least slows it down for now. Mike Rules carrying this in. Slows it down. Wide open net chance here, and that shot does not go on point. That was definitely a big opportunity. Speaking of wide open nets... Oh my god! I don't believe that Cook's here. What a stop!
Touch it! That was a save from one of the Untethered players.
It looked like he got credit for it. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought he got credit for a save or
he may have done
touch of something, but either way, what a disaster. Oh, but the ball is still in a good position for Untethered, and there's a good follow-up, and they do finally get that tying goal. We won't have a chance to watch it on a replay because that happened way too long ago, but a huge attempt to break that up, but fortunately for Untethered, Lucinio manages to squeeze in that one goal.
It looks like
they will tie it up.
I mean, this might just be my EU lag here, but it looked from my screen like Cooks forced Lucinio into the ball.
I mean, he very well could have. I thought he got credit for something. It was definitely tricky to see from the perspective we were watching it at. But entirely possible. Certainly something that'd be worth going back and looking on the replay. Just for the heck of it, because that was hell of a stop on what was a blatantly wide open net. But as it stands right now, Flipside on the attack. Good play in by Lichinio. Tries to send it to Waffle. He's going to play this on the air. Nice back and forth there, but it does get turned away by Flipside. Now a cross in for Flipside. Pluto disrupts that, sends it out. Almost turned aside by Cooks here, but Marky Duda will end up getting the clear here. Mike Rules can't quite get to it, so Cooks here is going to get to it. Nice floating shot, doesn't quite drop. Back the other direction. Waffle plays it to the corner. Cooks here plays it up high. He's got to be careful. There's nobody from Untethered there, and nobody is, so that would have been a pretty good open opportunity for Untethered, but unfortunately they weren't there to react to it. Now Mike plays it off the wall to Marky. Marky keeps it in the corner. Good chance for Mike Rules, and he gets basically a wide open shot.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what happened there. Ball came over the top. Nice win to get there first, and then Pluto missed the ball. Lichinio didn't know how to react to that situation. Yeah. He just flew and tried to get a block in, but nothing coming in there. Mike Rules puts that in, and is now, if they can hold on to this, then they will knock Untethered out of this tournament.
Yeah, that's a very close exchange there. I think what happened is Lichinio tried to make that initial stop. Oh! But he comes in with a dagger of a shot from about midfield here. Take a look at this again. Rifling shot.
Say his name 3 times and he shall appear. When it comes to Lichinio, Shalfus only has to say his name once and he appears.
Yep, no worries there. He had a bit of a misplay defensively that turned into a Flipside goal, but then he quickly earns back some credit with that tying shot. So, minute and a half to play. Game is tied. No surprise here. Floating shot denied by Waffle. They got to get this out of the zone, though. And they will do just that. Now carrying the ball around the corner. Marky Duda ends up getting a bit of a center. Good demo on the part of Mike Rules to take Waffle out of the play.
Oh, it's a bit too much for Lichinio.
Yeah, a little too much contact there. It's going to be an opening, and yeah, Cooks here punishes it. So, not quite the play they wanted off the wall here. Lichinio commits a little too far forward. Waffle's too far up as well. And Cooks here just gets a good arcing shot. So,
yeah, from the looks of it, Waffle, I mean, the boost pads were still up in the corners, so I don't think Waffle actually picked up any boost after being demolished either, so no chance of him saving that at all.
Yeah, well, shot gets now set up high. Marky with a bit of a cross here. Nope, that's going to get disrupted by Pluto, so chance for Untethered to try and get the tying goal here with less than a minute to play. Pluto with that cross bounces a little too far out of reach of any of his teammates. But there's Lichinio coming in high. Chance for Waffle, and he's going to get that tight angle shot!
Every single time! Every single time Flipside looked like they might have just sealed the deal, one of the Untethered members comes in and just says, no, we are not done yet! Nice setup there, caught it on the arc at the top of the goal, and just made it drop directly in front where Waffle needed it to be. And clean finish from him.
Shot set up high, so now can Flipside respond because Untethered in a good position. Now both teams actually in a very good position because this game is tied. But will we be going to overtime? We shall see.
Untethered taken the lead once yet in this game, though. They need to break that streak.
Yep, well, chance here. Lichinio plays it forward, but Cooks here cuts it off. Now over to Marky. Marky's going to try to get the cross. Let's see if anybody can respond to it. It will be Waffle. He's going to try to solo this one. Flips it up,
yeah,
but
too early.
Yeah,
it was a smart idea, but it did it too early.
Yep, came in too early on that commitment. Chance for Lichinio. Here's an opportunity. Ball still in the air. This is where Flipside can be very dangerous. Mike Rules for distance, but it's turned aside in the corner. Ball is still up. Still up. Touched into the corner. Not down yet. Marky off the backboard. Pluto gets the contact, and we're going to overtime.
Yeah, we could see shades of Kyle Mask. Every single member of Flipside just saying Kyle as they went towards it. Oh, okay, that is a...
Well, that's an interesting kickoff strategy.
Now Waffle, he's going to have to get to...
Almost worked. Almost worked. Cooks here pinches it off. Now Untethered has to be very careful. A weird little approach on the kickoff. Nobody making contact with Lichinio! Gets past it, and this series continues on.
Finally, Waffle with just a great pass, and Lichinio sat exactly where he needed to be. So brave to be set up there in an overtime situation. I mean, if he misses that, then they are going to be in a lot of trouble because you've got one player that's already up in the air, and I believe Lichinio got bumped on his way up, so that left Pluto all by himself against a 3-man Flipside squad, so that is absolutely key that he finished that off. Absolutely.
I mean, what a big finish there for Untethered, and they're forcing a Game 7. I'm impressed. I am very, very impressed from what we've seen so far. I think a lot of people might have considered Untethered to be in a very dire position going up against Flipside, but they are not going to go down quietly. Unfortunately, they are going back to EU.
Yeah,
it's not where they've had any luck.
I mean, they've looked better in the last couple of occasions, but 4-1 is as close as they've got so far.
Yeah, and it's all about, it's all about sealing the deal. And maybe, just maybe, the value of the Game 7, the value of the fact that this is it, this is, deciding factor time, will be sufficient. Whoops. Try to turn that camera shake off.
But this is going to be absolutely huge. Winner of this goes through to take on the Kings of Urban in the semi-finals. Play on, boys.
If you wanted a better set of games, I don't think you could have asked for anything better than what we've had so far. I mean, these have been just tremendous playoff games, and we're only one round in. We've still got 3 more full sets to go, both semifinal games, the grand finals. I mean, this is just, it's only gotten started, and we're going to keep the momentum going, but let's see which of these two teams can manage to squeeze by. Alright, lucky play. Waffle's going to carry this in, tries to slowly roll it down, but Cooks here cuts that one off. Now going to try to play this high off the wall, but he gets a little caught up. So Lichinio will make some contact there. Markey fights it out of the corner. Pluto denies the attempt to clear completely out. Good touch there. Fortunately, nobody back to try and follow up there. Lichinio was actually far back in his own end. Now attempt for Flipside. Quickly set out. Let's back up a bit and get a good eye on this. Alright, shot's going to go down. Lichinio playing this ball in. Markey sends it to the corner. Up for Lichinio and Waffle. They're trying to put something together here to squeeze past Flipside. Pluto denies that one.
I mean, this has already been... Oh, okay, they could have had an opportunity there, but Waffle and Lichinio got tangled up with each other.
Yeah, a little hesitation there, and of course, that, like you said, the tangling up, that makes it hard to turn anything around on that play. But I will say, offensively, Untethered looking outstanding right now.
I mean, they're looking good. They're getting into the area, but nothing substantial coming out from them just yet. And that's what you need. It's good having the possession over in the opposing half, but you've got to get something decent to come out of it.
Yep, you really, really do. And now, almost 2 minutes off the clock. Nothing on the scoreline. Oh, risky chance here, but Waffle still manages to cut that out.
Untethered need to stop it soon, because so often they've got 2 people in the exact same spot that are just hitting into each other. That has to stop.
Yeah, they've got to be extra careful, especially knowing that they're in that disadvantage being on the EU server, a server they haven't been able to win from yet, especially in this set against one of the more difficult teams in Europe. Now play in, ball's going to get set up high. It's still in an interesting position for Flipside to try to react to. There's a cross, that ball's just going to slowly... he missed! Markey missed on that follow-through.
Whenever shots hit the post, it tends to flow out a little bit towards the middle of the in-game ground, and they've just got away with it because of that fact. I don't think even Markey expected it to come rolling out like it did. He just expected it to roll across the line.
No, they can't quite get it. We're almost 3 minutes down. Still nothing on the clock. Nothing on the scoreboard. Whatever. Nothing. No goals.
Too high.
But as we say that, Markey puts it in. Floating shot. Good contest. He fights Pluto down, I think. He came in and kind of fought down Pluto. I have to watch it again just to be sure, but big goal.
He gets a hold of this. He hits it in. I think it's going to... No, Pluto backflipped.
Feels backflip, man.
We have an emote for that now.
We do. Spam the chat with your feels backflip, man, if you're a sub, of course. And you should be a sub.
You should be... Oh, no, this is not good.
Oh, no. Oh, and another backflip. Oh, God, no.
We're seeing a collapse here from Untethered. They just got caught out immediately from the kickoff. Lichinio went for boost, and that put him out of position straight off. If he stayed in the goal, he could have possibly gone to challenge it before it even became dangerous. And
could
we
have.
see a lot of teams refuse to go for boost to start with because it leads to difficult situations like that. That's an open goal.
Oh,
Why
wow.
is that an open goal? No, seriously, why is that okay, Cook's not learning from Untethered's mistakes, goes for boost himself. And there we go. We've had both teams make roughly the same mistakes so far. And we are back to where we were just 10 seconds ago.
Indeed we are. At least for now, but it's only a one-goal situation, so there's a lot of room to play with here. But, you know, the fact is, it's a one-goal advantage, and that's so... Oh!
And the thing is, Flipside, no matter what the score is, if it's only one goal, with this amount of time left in such a high-pressure situation, won't change their style of play.
No.
They will keep coming forward and look to get the killing blow.
No, I mean, they can adjust how they play when they're at a disadvantage to try and be a little more clutch and to try to get those really critical late-game goals. But they constantly apply the pressure, and that was a nice attempt there for Untethered, but doesn't quite develop. Chance
Is that going to finish that off? Oh, no.
No,
that would have
won't.
been a great way for the series to end, but Untethered are still in this.
They are still in it for now. Big crossing play chance for Pluto. He's going to come in. Waffles there. Gets a good redirect. Oh, and that floating shot is teched aside.
Yep, no power on it whatsoever. He had no time to try and get some boost and just fly into it. Instead, he had to take it without just a double jump as soon as he saw it come towards him, and that meant no power at all.
Yeah, right now, I mean, even though Flipside's not putting a ton of shots on net, they're occupying the ball. They're preventing Untethered from doing anything with it. Nice touch by Pluto. Tries to set it up for Waffle. Waffle's going to set up on the backboard. Here comes Lachinio, but it gets cleared out by Cooks here. Now Markey puts it off the backboard. Going to try to get that tight angle redirect. Can't quite do it. Wide open net, fortunately for Untethered. Markey couldn't actually get the finish he needed. Less than 30 seconds to play. Lachinio tries to carry this up. Ball's going to be bouncing very hard and very far, and Waffle just manages to save that one.
No,
but Pluto with a wide open net, no! But Mike Rules cuts that off. Chance now. Oh, it's redirected too far.
They're going to stick with it.
Pluto to the wall. Ball is up. It's still in a good spot for Untethered. No, Markey hits it. That ball is going to fall, and it's going to hit the ground, and there you have it. Flipside Tactics will take this series 4-3. An incredible showing out of Untethered, but unfortunately, it was just not enough to squeeze past the beasts that are Flipside Tactics.
That was, I mean, when Pluto got that dribble going off, that was possibly one of the most heart-in-mouth moments I've seen in a while. Pluto, he tried to figure out what to do, but he couldn't get... If he could get onto the left-hand side of that car, of the ball, and been able to slide it across. We saw tons of players do it last week when we were doing the shootout challenge. If you can get onto the side of the ball and swing it across, you've got a ton of net to aim at. He just couldn't quite do it. The ball was rolling just too fast for him to get to. And that was the final Untethered chance.
Yeah, I mean, it is definitely kind of heartbreaking because they were so close to making that happen, and they fought harder than I'd probably seen almost any team fight against Flipside. So many teams try to get so close there, and it was within their grasp, so definitely. But unfortunately, just that, that last second touch did not quite work out.